So I'm here with Ethel Cofie from Women in Tech Africa. Thank you for taking the time to speak with Apps Africa.
Thank you for having me.
Can you give us some more background on Women in Tech Africa and how you started it?
So Women in Tech Africa started because being one of the only few women in the technology space, or being the only woman in the room, I wanted to create a safe space where women in the technology sector would come together, create opportunities for each other, network, and also affect their communities with their skill sets. So we started a while back in Ghana with a few women, and now we've grown to over 500 women in 30 countries across Africa.
And how is Women in Tech making a real difference?
So that's an interesting question, because it's the question we ask ourselves all the time. So the core tenet being opportunity creation and networking. I mean, there are lots of stories where women come to our meetups or events, and they meet and they share, and they help each other get jobs, they help each other get opportunities, and I think that's the core tenet of what we wanted to do. But as we grow, we want to be more scientific about what our impact will be. So we're looking at the problems that are facing women in the industry and how we can begin to tackle them. So I haven't answered your question, but the core tenet is opportunity creation and networking, and we do that with the events. But we're beginning to do projects like we did International Women's Day, where we went out and we trained female entrepreneurs on how to use technology to grow their business. But again, there's no empirical evidence, but we're hoping and working on being data-driven and scientific about, the problem solving around the problem with women in the technology sector.
You mentioned the challenges facing women. What are some of the main challenges you think are facing the growth of women in technology in Africa?
Each person has a different story. My story is being the only person in the room. My story is having a type A personality, and maybe going to a boardroom meeting with another woman with a type A personality, and maybe coming out of those meetings and men going, women can't work well together, and things like that affect our growth and our ability to grow in business. So there are a lot of issues. I think there's always the pipeline discussion about there are not enough women in the sector, and we need enough women for diversity of products and different ways of thinking on building things. There's also the issue of women rising to the top of C-level positions or boardroom positions, and just the general fact that I think women are not thought of as being technically competent sometimes, and that's something that we have to fight against on a daily basis, even for people like us who have proved that we are competent. So.
And what are the growth plans for Women in Tech Africa outside of United Ghana?
All right, so over the next few months, we're looking to create physical chapters in a number of countries. So that would be in Nigeria, Lagos, in South Africa, in Zimbabwe, Zambia, and in Benin. So we're looking to create over the next 12 months 15 physical chapters, so that it's not because of the geographical dispersion of the women that they would have places to actually physically network, as well as virtually network with women across the pond.
Great. And can you give us some examples of some of the initiatives you've seen women create in Ghana or elsewhere in Africa?
Initiatives. Gotta clarify.
Any great innovations you've seen women create in the technology industry?
There are an amazing set of women in the technology industry in Ghana that are running companies. And a really good example is Anna Muzu. So Anna Muzu used to be CTO of Nandi Mobile. She is now CEO of Nandi Mobile, which is a startup that helps businesses connect with their customers using technology. She has a very interesting story, and I love that part of the things we do is to ensure that people see the diversity even in the women in tech. And I love that Anne has a quiet personality, a reflective personality. When I bring her to events, it's because she's speaking at our next event in Ghana on July 9th. Whereas I have a a more extroverted personality, and I love to bring the diversity of personalities and diversity of women to show that even in Women in Tech Africa, there is diversity. So, and then there's Regina Ejari. Regina has a wonderful story of starting her company Surunko Solutions, and also starting Techniques Girls, which trains girls in the slums across Ghana on how to code and how to program. And then there's Rashida, who just left school about 2 years ago, that has just started, who's just built her business, and just women that have taking the leap and that are building technology and that are standing up and saying, hey, I am competent and I am wonderful and I'm great at my job.
You're also a successful consultant. How have you seen technology consulting grow in Africa recently?
I think over the last 10 years that people understand more the need for technology to grow their businesses, and people understand more things that maybe even 5 years ago, like user experience, like requirements analysis, things that before businesses didn't think were important to the technology or the software that they use in businesses. I find that there is more awareness. And so there's more business for us, which is great. But yeah, I think there's definitely a growth there, and a more of an understanding of using technology for business growth. Facebook is a great example, and if you go on Facebook, there are a large number of entrepreneurs that are almost the first step of e-commerce, and that are quote-unquote selling via Facebook, and they put pictures and images and WhatsApp. And if WhatsApp ever wants to create APIs, you need to come to Africa, because there's a large number of people that do e-commerce solely based on their interaction on WhatsApp. So yeah, I think there is a more awareness of technology and how it affects our daily lives and how it grows businesses. And that means that more businesses and more individuals are willing to inculcate technology. We're not where we need to get to, but we're definitely on the road.
And finally, the diaspora outside of Africa, what are your plans with Women in Tech to try and harness the diaspora internationally?
So Women in Tech Africa is launching on July 8th, the first diaspora event, which will be in London. And ThoughtWorks has sponsored us with the venue and food, and we're very grateful. And the idea there for the diaspora groups is to look at the synergies between the women that are in the diaspora and the women back home, and how do we add value? How do those in the diaspora connect and add value on both sides? And for people that are thinking of starting business in Africa, how can we on the ground support them? So it'll be an interesting discussion to just really look at those discussions and that context, and begin to understand where we can support each other, those in the diaspora and those back home. And we're hoping that the Women in Tech Diaspora groups, now that we're launching London on July 9th, and we'll be launching Canada and the US soon, so it'll be very interesting to see the growth trajectory there.